Everybody, it is Stephanie here with Infernal TV, and I'm here with Rafay of Withered. So, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So now let's talk about Verloren. This is your first album with Withered. So, what was the writing, the recording? What was that experience like?
The writing process was a little tedious at times. It was the first time that, obviously, the first time that I've been writing with Withered, and it was the first time that the four of us really got to write together. So there was definitely some kinks to work out, and a lot of time was spent just kind of getting comfortable with each other and kind of how we approach writing. Um, I play bass, but I ended up writing a good bit of the guitar parts as well. So we're open enough with each other to explore different ideas that are brought to the table, and we're more than willing to just kind of play to our strengths at a certain point.
Awesome. And now, um, what is it like writing and recording with a new band in general? Like, do you get very like, do you anticipate, like the creative process, or what do you think?
This, like I said, we definitely had our ups and downs with this, and there was times that we were kind of getting at each other's throats. Um, just because we kind of get a little beholden to certain parts that you write, or that you're really excited about, that you bring to the table that somebody else might not be. Um, Fortunately, I've been friends with Mike, Bo, and Dan for all three of them for well over a decade now. So it wasn't anything that we're all very familiar with each other and already really good friends. So in some sense, it's a little easier to work with each other, because we are so familiar. Despite kind of only now entering this sort of different relationship, sort of working relationship with our music.
Awesome. And now, Withered has always had albums that had concepts, and this concept is the theme missing. So why did you choose that theme?
It was kind of a loose idea that I had about 3 years ago now, when Mike and I first started toying with ideas for what would become this record. Um, we all kind of have we all kind of have personal loss and traumas that we all experienced, that the four of us experienced pretty early on in our lives. And I knew that, like I said, we'd all been friends for so long, so I kind of knew that going in. And it was something that I was grappling with again, um, some years ago, that some of the music that I was writing was sort of being influenced by that personally. And I knew that I could approach the three of them with that, and that they would understand it and relate to it. And so that's kind of how um, that came to be. So the word missing was just sort of floating around in my head, because you can kind of come at it from a few different angles. You could be missing someone, something could be missing. It could be kind of active, it could be kind of passive. Um, Person, place, thing, feeling. Any one of those things could be quote unquote missing um, from your life, and whatever it may be, it's impactful and can be sort of troublesome. So that's kind of where I was at, and that's sort of where that concept initially sprouted, and then Mike kind of massaged it into what became the overall Verloren concept, which is more of like a sense of being forlorn. And lyrically, there's a lot going on with just sort of like individual battles.
Interesting. And now I know you mentioned that you wrote some of the guitar parts, but did you add any other elements to this new album?
Um, I don't know. That's kind of tough to say. Mike and Dan were both pretty welcoming to me, with introducing guitar parts and writing some guitar parts, along with my bass parts, um, and Bo too. To that point, it's fun doing that, because I can sort of anticipate what I want to play on bass with the guitar parts that I write. So at a certain point, I'm kind of thinking in both lanes. Like I'm going to write this cool guitar part and hopefully have a bass part to do something over it.
I read in another interview that you all actually started writing Verloren in 2018. So
Mm-hmm.
from the time, like I guess from the time you started writing the album to the time you started recording, did anything change?
Yeah, we definitely took our time with it, and a lot of that, as I said earlier, was us sort of beginning to get used to how we like to write and who likes to write what, what kind of fits where. Um, so we wanted to take our time to make sure that we were comfortable with each other in that space. And once we were, and once things started moving, we started knocking out songs pretty quick. Um, between I think I want to say I approached Mike with the first ideas around fall of 2018. Um, and then we spent most of 2019 writing it, and then we had a couple small tours in between there. Nothing major, and then we left to go do Europe, January of last year, and so we spent all of Europe. Excuse me, we spent all of January in Europe with the plans to come home and record. Obviously, quarantine hit, but it ended up being a bit of a blessing. Uh, we weren't on as much of a time crunch as we had anticipated, so by the time we finished, we were 6 or 7 months later than we had planned. But with that time in between, we got to really hash things out, and we did ended up changing a few things to some of the songs.
Interesting. And now, I know you also said earlier that you all had, you all focused a lot on, like the past traumas and everything that you experienced. So, do you think this album was very therapeutic for you all, that you just kind of like put it all out on the table and released all of that pent up, all
Yeah,
those traumas?
yeah, totally. No, there is a definite catharsis to this, and I think it should be for kind of anybody who makes music or creates art. Has some kind of outlet like that. That's the purpose that it serves, is to get it out there. Um, and in the purest form you can. So yeah, 100%. This is kind of a therapeutic thing for us.
Awesome. And now, I read in the press release that you all self-produced this album. So, what was that experience like?
It was nothing too major. We Mike in particular spent a lot of time just getting the tones right and making sure it sounded as best as it could. So we wanted to make sure that we had our fingerprint on it as much as possible, um, because like I said, it is a pretty important record for all four of us, considering what we were tapping into, to make it. So there was sort of a rhyme to the reason, for self-producing, and that was basically it.
Awesome. And now, before the interview, I know you were saying you have a few like shows, tours, Psycho, Las Vegas. You have all that
Hmm.
planned. Are you anticipating going back on stage again?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, we've been building a set. We're gonna end up obviously playing a lot of the new stuff, which I'm excited to play. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't wait. It's been, God, yeah, since last January was the last time we played out, and we
Wow.
haven't even played here in the States since October of 2019, I think. So we're coming up on nearly 2 years stateside, which is absolutely insane to think about. But yeah, by the tail end of this year, we should be back in full swing. Fingers crossed.
Awesome. And now, talking to a lot of my, whether my musician friends or, artists I interview about this topic, with the pandemic and what everybody went through, it seems that a lot of, like a lot of people I talked to, they all said that they learned something from this, whether it was to appreciate touring, maybe they strengthened or matured as musicians, or it's like everybody learned something. So did you like kind of take something away from this period, or learn something, or
Um, if anything, I learned to just kind of be by myself more. Um, just my normal day-to-day routine. I'm pretty much out of the house 6 nights a week for one reason or the other. Be it work or rehearsals or going out. And so my busy life became a very not so busy life pretty quickly, which was something that I wasn't used to. Travel aside, that was probably the biggest thing. Um, but I did realize how much I just missed just being on the road, not necessarily being on the road on tour, but just kind of being out there and just, you know, seeing places and just driving. So I had a lot of pipe dreams about that. And I ended up just going out for long drives by myself just to kind of tap into that feeling a bit. So I guess I learned that I do actually enjoy the travel more than maybe I thought I did.
yeah, actually I've heard a couple people say that. So that's definitely very interesting. And this is the last question. You can say anything you want. You can promote the album, promote the shows, say thanks to the fans. It's all you.
Cool. Yeah, everybody who's listened, I appreciate it. I hope you're listening to the album in full because we're very particular about presenting this album as a piece. So if you do listen to Verloren, when you do listen to Verloren, listen to it front to back because it is a complete piece, and we're made it a point to present it as such. And I hope you take away something from it because we put a lot into it. If you're in Atlanta, come see us August 6th at the Earl. Headlining show, record release for Verloren with our friends Sadistic Ritual and Yautja. Yautja's coming out from Nashville. Those of you going to Psycho Las Vegas, we're playing Saturday afternoon. We'll see you there. And yeah, look out for some tour dates, probably around fall time.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for checking out this interview. Verloren is out now. And also Withered has some really cool shows coming up. So definitely check out that if they're coming anywhere near you, or whether you're going to Psycho Las Vegas or anything like that. And then I'm sure you guys have a big, or from what you know right now, at least, you have a big year next year, or
let's hope so.
Let's
yeah,
hope so.
Yeah.
And hopefully
get back to normal.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll be seeing more of them next year. So stay metal, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.